could do it that way too. You could also just go from left channel to right channel and just run it in stereo, and do that option too, and just select certain things. So if you want to EQ the mic, just go into left channel, EQ the mic, then come back out and go to right channel, and then shut off the graphic on the right channel, and just do all the rest after that. That's another option too. Remember, you could do it that way as well. I only have the PEQ and the dynamic limiter and the DYN and DEQ. Those three are the only ones. I'm going to actually add the graphic right now. I just inserted the graphic, but it's probably a little too heavy.
Yeah, well, no, it sounds good. Yeah, I have PEQ, DEQ, and DYN lit up. FBD, I think that's the feedback thing for equalizing the room, which we would only do if we were using this thing to receive. Yeah, and I don't have the graphic on, because I have a graphic in line before this. So Art, I think I'm going to cancel that splitter mixer. I don't think I need it.
Right. So what are you doing for the effects then? The virtualizer is just the last part of the chain?
Yeah, it's the last part of the chain. I'm silly. I have an X-Air, so I can run the rack into the X-Air as an input, and then I've got 6 auxiliary outs and a main left and a main right out. So I can run one of the auxiliary outs to the line in of the Anon. I can run I don't have to run any other auxiliary out to get my transmit into the computer, because I could send that via USB from the X-Air. And then I could run the virtualizer also into the X-Air separately as a side chain.
Yeah, really. I mean, you already have a splitter. There's basically a splitter there with the X-Air with all those extra ports.
Right. Hey, Frank, if you were going to run the last piece of a rack into the X-Air, would you have a TRS going into channel 1 or an XLR?
Well, it depends how you're coming out, right? So I'd go in, let me see, I would go in XLR. I mean, I like XLR typically, but it's really becomes an impedance thing on how you're going to come out. But if you're going to come out, I would go TRS. I mean, XLR in. I just like XLR typically. That's just me. It's a preference.
Yeah, well, I like XLR too, and everything is professional level. It's all +4 dB, the whole rack. So channel 1 and channel 2 are the high Z channels. So I guess I would use one of those.
But you remember I told you about doing that, coming out and using that, coming back in to feed the splitter, and you told me that you couldn't because of the USB. You were riding the USB for the virtual audio. So, oh no, you're going to the back now. So yeah, you could do it that way. That's kind of what I was saying. But you said you were using the USB and it would get screwed up. You have to set up a virtual audio channel.
No. Well, maybe I said that, but I didn't think it all the way through. I can go into channel 1 with the rack, right? And then I could tell it to spit out, because I don't want to process anything, right? I just want the raw rack, and then I could spit it out of one of the auxiliary channels.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the easiest way.
Right? The only thing I would adjust then on that channel strip would be the gain, correct?
Yeah, you would adjust the gain, and let me look at the sends. You just got to configure the sends. Let me look at this real quick. Yeah, you don't even probably have to configure. Well, yeah, you'll have to configure that second channel, but yeah. And that slider for channel 2 will be for the audio out on the YouTube, your streaming.
Right, exactly. All right. Yeah, I think I don't see any need for the. I ordered a Behringer splitter / mixer. It's a rack piece. It was $100. It's like it's like 1 or 2 inputs, but you got 4 or 5 outputs to split or mix. But I could do it all with the X-Air.
I imagine it keeps all the balance levels and gains even, right? So when you go, whatever you're coming into each channel, there won't be a breakdown in it doesn't lessen as you keep going down a channel, right? It'll keep it consistent throughout the same. So whatever if you're coming in line or +4 or whatever, it'll maintain that throughout with the splitter, right?
I haven't read the whole manual, but I'm assuming that, and I was thinking that, right? Like, if I'm splitting it 2 ways, am I losing something somewhere? I don't think so.
Well, now you no longer need to worry about it, right? So you can do it all from the same input, and it's great. While you're working on one, you can see the VU for both. It's more of a comprehensive. I mean, it's really what it's made for. It's really what it is.
Yeah, it's a friggin' mixer. That's exactly what it is.
So, Frank, I wanted to make mention. I've been listening very closely here. Headphones on. Big booming 20 over. Way better from this morning. I guess, and I mentioned that too. I can't really, really detail until I hear a full audio. You're coming in well now. So between the 26 and the 2900 on that DEQ, is that you have that set up as a the graphic EQ in there?
No, I have no graphic EQing here at all. Everything is all parametric.
Okay, so then a boost cut, like some kind of a cut or subtraction in that region, in that 26 to 29, is there any way to pull that down, like 3 or 4 dB? I just wanted to hear that difference.
You could also add gain in the DEQ section of that range. That might put a lid on it.
Yeah, because everything else is so smooth. It's all smooth until I'm getting this kind of really aggressive high mids. It's almost to the point where they're just edgy, very edgy high mid range. I guess we can call that like an unpleasant peak.
All right, I came down in the gain level a little bit, but hopefully that didn't take out too much of the crispiness on the high side there. How's this sound, Norway 2 Queen Fox?
Go in and tell her what frequency.
Sorry.
And it's intuitive, but not too intuitive.
Yeah, it's a little double, not too bad. So let me hear that one more time, Frank.
Yeah, sorry about that. Norway to Queen, Florida. It could be gain structure too a little bit, or I'm boosting things normally higher than I normally don't do it this high. So just a little bit, but I cut back on that higher frequency range. Hopefully it brought it down a little bit.
Right. So the sharp orange that was coming down the waterfall in that section, it's now real subtle. It's more like a deep green, yellow. So good. Yeah, and I'm going to lean. I was just going to mention the gain structure, the total overall, volume, the level. It is hot. It's definitely in the hot stage.
All right, I came down a little bit there. Is that a little bit better? Does it sound like I'm always going to have a little bit more of a robust sound, unfortunately. But is it unbearable? Did it come down just a little? Any change?
A little bit, yeah. No, that's more subtle. It's not as edgy. So no, that was a nice smooth adjustment. Nothing, what we weren't talking about, right? A big cut here. It was very, very little, and I think it made a nice difference.
Yeah, I think I was doing that to get my drive. See, what happens is, unfortunately, I'm not. What I need to do is compensate with the limiter, because now I'm not getting nearly as much output power. So let me adjust the limiter here really quick. Not the limiter, sorry, the leveler.
Right, okay, the leveler, yeah. N4QNT, just past the 40.
KB2 UKA.
All right, is that a little bit better there? Norway 2 Queen, Florida.
Yeah, I'm not sure how well you're copying. Doug, do you hear Frank like real good? I mean, a big signal or just kind of?
No, it's a very big signal. It sounds good. I don't know if I'm being picky or if I was hearing that sharpness on the S's like I had earlier.
Right.
Are you hearing that as well?
Yeah, it's right there. I mean, it's just so close of just kind of like, that sibilance, that little bit of, I guess, that harsh. There's a little bit of a harsh sibilance going on.
So, Frank, let me see if I have it. All right, so what I did, I set, hold on. Okay. So in the DEQ section on page 2, I'm on DEQ number 1, I peak at -5 on the left-right gain. I peak at -5. On DEQ number 2, I peak at -5. And then DEQ number 3, first of all, I dropped the frequency because John suggests 10,000, but he's running 8K. I dropped the frequency to 6324, and depending on what version you're running, the frequency you'll either have that or you'll have something close to it. But I dropped it to 6324, and on the number 3 DEQ, I peak at -15. And in his literature, he says adjust number 3 until it puts a little squash on the S's. And he said as high as you have to make it, then go back and readjust number 1 and number 2 so that you're around -5. Over?
Yeah, what frequency did you say, Doug? 60 what?
On DEQ number 3, I adjusted it down, and I think I did this with Art this morning. 6324. And that's for my 4K profile. So I adjusted it down to 6324. And I have a bandwidth octave of 3 on that on DEQ number 3.
Is that cleaner?
Frequency is 6324. Bandwidth of 3.
Yeah, okay. I think I found it. Does this sound a little cleaner? I realize where I was tearing.
Do you see how crisp the S's are now, Art?
Yeah, exactly. That's the section right there.
Yeah, it's very clean, Frank.
What amazes me is there's no drop-off. There's no, falling off the shelf. It's just everything is holding. It's almost like a continuous factor while you're transmitting. And apparently that digital, the DEQ is exactly doing that, I would say. Whatever's in that box creating the lift, it's constant lift.
And then
Thank you. You know what? I had
tiny bit of CFC
I realized
in the high end.
DEQ3. I was playing with it and I saw. I'm like, oh, okay, it's
Take the edge
around
off even a little bit more.
4K. I'm like, all right. I didn't realize it was coming in a little hot until you said it, and then I was looking at the EQ, and I'm like, wait a minute, that doesn't make sense because I'm at like around 1 of gain there, not a whole lot of gain on the high end. Some didn't make sense. And it was a DQ3. That menu is confusing as hell sometimes. You know, it's easy to skip one, and I saw that I had that gain significantly, a little bit too high.
Oh, yeah.
So thank you, Doug, and I appreciate it, guys.
Now, after doing all that, what's your mic gain peaking at?
Well, that's where I'm around -3. I see. I'm just not getting a lot of output power. -3, -2. Hit a peak of -1. So it's not insanely strong, but it's there.
Okay. Do you have CFC running or no?
I do.
What you say? The CFC running?
I was compensating by mic gain, right? So that's why it was so much louder. I think, but it sounds like it was offensive.
Well, hold on. You might try boosting the mic gain like 2 dB. I want to hear it.
Well, I won't do it to that. I'll do it to the rack. Now it seems to be holding a lot better on my. I could see it on the power meter moving up and down. Hopefully, I'm not sure if it's not tearing or not, but I think it's okay.
And then you might have answered me, but I missed it. Do you have CFC on or no?
Yeah, I do.
All right, cool. Yeah, me too. I have it on like the top 3 frequencies.
Am I tearing? I'm bringing up the leveler a little bit here. That I'm wondering if that helped. Wow, I didn't really do a whole lot with the leveler. Yeah, the leveler's not doing anything. All right, so let me back that down. Oh, because I'm hitting mic gain like an idiot.
Yeah, I think so, and I just detected that. I don't know, Doug, did you kind of notice with a pause, a little bit of a gap between words? It's like that kind of little bit of a hum. I want to say hum, but like a buzz in a way.
Well, I was messing with the levels. I'll give you a dead key now.
What I think is a loss of audio in between
okay,
words.
Now that's let's see. Hopefully it's not there.
No, it's not.
I'm sorry, my son came in. What did you say?
No, he was just checking to see with the background or between words if there was any kind of cycle, any kind of hum, but it sounded clean that time.
Okay. I don't know. I feel like you could use a touch more gain.
All right, Norway 2, Queen, Queen, Fox. Is this a little better?
Well, on my end, it held it the whole time. It sounded fuller.
What do you do with the mic gain radio? Just curious. On the mic on Fetus. What's the range like? The threshold, is it 0 to 10, or how do you set up your mic gain slider?
Mic gain is
he said it's 0.
0.
Wait.
Yeah, 0 on the mic gain.
Yeah, there's a little double there.
Talking to me or Doug?
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, yeah.
Do you go line in into the Anon?
Yeah, I think, go ahead, Frank. He's asking you go line in. I think you do.
Yeah, I go line in.
You go line in, and you have your mic gain at 0 dB?
Yes, I do.
So, that's very interesting. Very, very interesting. So, what I do, I gain stage each piece of the rack, and then by adjusting input output, right? And then my last piece, the virtualizer, I get the peaks to about -10, -6 dB. And then I push the mic gain up in thetas until I'm at 0 dB on the mic meter. So right now I have 23 dB of mic gain.
Holy macaroni.
I have 23 dB of mic gain. My meter goes to maybe +1 on very loud peaks. If I drop it to 20, it'll still go to +1. And I'm not overdriving anywhere.
Yeah, I don't think I'm overdriving anywhere either. Unless you guys are telling me different. I didn't think I was. Just a few minutes ago, you guys said I was underdriving, so now I'm confused.
Well, so you're telling if you move your mic gain to 5 dB, you'll be way over 0?
I'm at the 0 mark right now. I don't mess with the mic gain on any radio. My mic gain stays pretty consistently. I don't really mess with it. I leave it kind of. I try not to compensate with the mic gain. I try to do everything outside of the mic gain.
Okay. Let me just see what happens. See if I drop my mic gain to 0. 1, 2. So I'm sure I just lost a load of audio, right?
Yeah, I don't hear you.
So what'd I say? I was on 24? Yeah, here's 24. This is where it was.
I think how you set the minimum and maximum has a lot to do with it too. I mean, I found minimum being at 0 and just 10 at max, and then it's a more smoother transition. I mean, you know, like right here, I'm going up to 10, and now I'm just hitting +4, +5, almost +8, and it's still reasonable. It's not that bad. But then when I go to 0, right here I'm at 0, and that's probably the best ever sound right there. But I'm just at -10, -11. So then I'll just tick it right here about 3 or 4, and the last chiclet is touching 0 on every peak.
So in under the transmit tab, under mic, what do you have your max set at?
Right. So the transmit tab, of course, we're line in, so I prefer 0 unity. I keep it 0. I don't minus or positive a line in gain. That's at 0.0. And then the minimum number is 0 in the mic gain box. Minimum 0 and maximum 10.
Oh, wow. Okay, that might be why I have to run mine at 24. My maximum is 50. But I have my line in gain at 0 like you. So let me see. I'm gonna drop it to 10 and see what happens.
See, I got my max gain at 0 at 1, and my minimum gain at -40. I went with the standard settings. I think that's how it comes. I didn't mess with any of that stuff, and my line in gain and dB is 0.
Well, let's see. I want to see if it's relative. 1, 2. No, see, I can't get up to 0 dB.
Wow, and you're at 10?
Yeah, I'm at 10. I'm peaking at -13, maybe -10.
You're not coming in hot enough.
We need more, Scotty. We need more.
Yeah, but I don't think I want to come in hotter.
So now you can make up for it on the other side. Just boosting your input-output stuff on your preamp.
Yeah, but then I'll overdrive the next piece, and I'd have to adjust everything.
Yeah, put it back where it was. You were fine. Oh my goodness, man! 6 o'clock. Yeah, this was a short time. I apologize, but Sunday at 6, I usually get down there and start getting things going. Got to feed the dogs, all that stuff. So I'll be back later on if you guys are still around. Either way, but 7-3 N4 QNT.
Hey, Art, before you leave,
I
is
think
it
it's
the audio all
relative,
screwed
right?
up
With the
again?
gain?
Is that like I'm getting?
You're either
I'm not
pushing more
necessarily sure. I'm
power
getting
in,
mixed
or you're
messages.
telling the radio to put more in.
Messages. Is it fine or no?
All right, 73. I'm gonna get out of here too. Go ahead, Frank.
All right. Yeah, Frank, the thing is, earlier today, you remember I mentioned the band wasn't in the best shape? I mean, I was getting you good, but now you're full, you're strong, you're 20 over. But, and I think it's a little hot. It's a little overdone. There's something there that's just kind of like, that in-your-face kind of thing I'm talking about.
Yeah, but then when I lowered it, Doug was saying it wasn't coming in right. All right, I just lowered it now, so I'm not sure if this sounds better.
There's smooth. There you go. There's that smooth silk I'm listening for. Yeah, it took away some of the edge.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I just I lowered it and increased it a little bit. Hopefully that it's not as bad now.
Yeah. Yeah, the CW operator, did you want us to stand by? Or are you trying to call someone, or you want to go down to, 7009 or something? Well, let's have a quick QSO.
All right. What's up? W4 dealer. Yeah, that was way too fast for me. We have a broadcast station right here, getting ready to fire up.
All right, I'll let you guys go. Dom, hello, and Art, I'll let you get back. I appreciate it. I know you're heading out of there, so I'll say 73 Norway 2 Queen Fox. I'll catch up with you later, Dom. I'm gonna bail out of here, I guess.
Later.
Oh yeah, I hear you. You're booming in, Dom. It's kind of a short skit here. We were Don and I started here about 40 minutes ago, but yeah, we're Don, you still there? Oh boy, might have. Yeah, I was just gonna run down to the kitchen. I got to do a couple of things, but no, Frank, I think you're fine now. It's just in the beginning, I was just, especially that 2900 right in there, 26 to 29. It was just right. It was just a little overdone, but those adjustments were excellent.
Okay, cool. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, I didn't know. I like panic ensued. I'm like, I'm trying new equipment. I didn't do anything. What the hell could have gone wrong? But all right, very good. Well, Art, I appreciate it. I'll let you go. 73 and Dom. I don't know if you hear me or not. The band shifted around. I'll say 73. I got a half hour left on the radio here, and I got to get ready to leave. So I want to try to get in here and say hello to Richie, who called me just before. So we'll catch you a little bit later. Norway 2 Queen Fox.
All right, guys. I'll catch you later. W4 dealer.
All right, Dominic, you jumped right in at the end here. Sorry about that. You'll be on, right? You'll be on later on the other one?
Yeah, are you guys not hearing that?
Oh, yeah. Center carrier, they were warming up, and here it comes. The big foreign broadcast.
Yeah. All right, I'll talk to you later. W4 dealer.
Yeah, I'll be back. Yeah, just 6 o'clock. Feed the dogs. They eat at 6 every night, like the Timex watch. So get that going. I'll just do a quick little something. Got to heat something up for dinner, and we'll be back on N4QNT. Catch you in a bit.
All right, later. W4 dealer.
Então ouça a Rádio Internacional da China, que saiba tudo do país que mais cresce no mundo.